Is the twin flame journey ravaging and destroying your life? If you've been struggling and feeling like this journey is not making sense to you, or it's been taking from you in a way that isn't producing an evolutionary process, it's time for us to redefine some ideas, some perspective, and have a conversation. Hey everybody, I'm Dove.
I'm Nicole.
And we are twin flame mentors. We are consciousness mentors, motivational speakers, and much more. And we are a twin flame couple, if you are brand new to us, that have been in active union and doing our work together for over 12 years. So this is something that people come to us to talk about a lot, right? And we see you guys in the comments. We see you guys out there in our community. We see this commentary and this perception that this journey is about suffering, right? And that you're suffering and that you don't know how to get out of that suffering. And a lot of the time, and we're going to talk about some of those points, so stay tuned, right? There is some perspective shifts that are causing that pain, or I should say perspective shifts that need to happen for that pain to really be alleviated. So this is a huge topic. And for us, if you haven't, been exposed to our videos before, we believe that relationships are one of the most beautiful and important catalysts for growth ever. So the twin flame relationship and the twin flame journey is no exception. It's an incredible opportunity for growth, and it is an incredible connection and resonance between two beings that, is unmatched in a lot of ways by others. However, it is not an excuse, a bypass for abuse, a bypass for avoiding ourselves, our own healing, our own responsibility. And it is not necessarily something that we benefit from just become overly fixated on a concept.
Yes, and I do want to say this out loud first before we even get into it, is that if your partner is not taking any responsibility for themselves in the relationship, any responsibility in it, it is time to step away. You have to take that moment and opportunity. If you are with someone that's unable or unwilling to see their part in a relationship, that is not a relationship. I want to say sometimes, many of you have told us you thought someone was your twin flame and they were not. You were connected by wounding, connected in different ways. We go through that. Some of you have had catalyst relationships or different relationships that you needed to clean up some things, but you come first.
Yes, you always come first. And so we need to redefine some of these ideas, right? The twin flame journey is incredible. It is so special and it is so amazing. And yes, it can be messy. And yes, there can be major wounding, and there can be abuse that each of you have experienced in your lives, which make you struggle with things like trust and addiction and faithfulness and all of those things. And yet, right? Yet, we want to keep the understanding of the journey as an evolution, and you come first. Your growth, your awareness to the situation, right? And how you're developing comes first. So let's talk about how and why the journey might be ravaging you, okay? And then let's talk also about how we can redefine some of these ideas and get some more strength and clarity around what's going on. So first and foremost, we can talk about expectations. And for me, before I even get into expectations, I want to talk about the idea of how we become obsessed with a particular thought or idea that we might be pulling in because of a wound. Okay, so Nicole mentioned before, we gravitate towards each other based on a frequency.
Yes.
So imagine if you could see like a signature, and we find that identical signature in our twin. We find that similar signature in another, and that creates a click for us. When your signature is in trauma and it's in wounding and it's in difficulty, you may attract somebody that you have a strong bond to, but you're really clicking in the wounds. And even if you do find your twin flame, because Nicole and I talk openly that when we met, we had a lot of struggle that we were still going through, right? So even if you find your twin flame and you connect, you also will struggle to find a balance of not really getting locked into wound-to-wound cycles.
Yes.
Okay? And that's where the work needs to happen. So whether or not you are with your twin flame now, or whether you are in separation or haven't met your twin, or just a divine counterpart that you want, a conscious relationship that makes sense to you, you need to be able to get those perspectives and that alignment corrected in yourself as much as possible so you can understand what you're attracting. So expectations. First and foremost, the idea that if you don't have your twin flame in your life, or you don't have a twin flame, right? Especially for those of you guys that maybe have never met a twin, you've just become focused on the idea.
Yes.
The idea that it is the ultimate and only love, right? It is an incredible experience and it is an incredible connection. It is part of you in so many ways, but oftentimes it's not what we think, because we're looking for this perfect romance or this perfect, dedicated partner or this harmonious situation that isn't exactly what it is. It's an incredible opportunity of multifaceted connection, which means you are each other's partners, lovers, friends, teachers, so on and so forth. And you both have to click through your stuff so that you can really harmonize together. So the expectation that I can't have anything else if I don't have this person.
Yes.
And if I don't have this person, I'm not okay. These are some of the ideas that are probably ravaging you from the inside out.
Yes. Also too, if you're looking for validation, hear me out.
Yes.
Even in union, forget about in separation, even in union, if you're looking for validation through your twin flame, it's never going to work. I remember that moment when I realized that she wasn't going to make me happy. Even in the relationship. I was just trying to fill all these spaces within me, all these parts of me that didn't remember that it was whole, that I was whole. I didn't remember those things yet. I wasn't there yet. And I'm just trying to you have to be a certain way to make me feel good. And it never worked because I didn't feel good about myself. Right? And so even looking outside of ourselves in any way for validation doesn't allow for us to actually understand that we are whole on our own. And it doesn't work that way. It comes from the inside out. And even in union, right? In union, all right, when I realized that Dove wasn't going to be happy, it was a little shocker. Because I really thought if I had the perfect relationship, I had the perfect women that I love so very much, that I would be happy. There's an idea there that we all have had in our lives, right? I've got taught that. You get the white picket fence, the girl, the job, everything. It was
sure.
And then I had to chickadee check myself and I was like, wow, okay, cool. This woman tagged me, right? All of a sudden I'm in love. And then I realized, oh my God, I have to make myself whole. And it makes so much sense because hear me out. When I show up whole, guess what happens? Oh, first of all, I feel just so aligned and blessed and feel good about myself. And my partner thinks I am the yummiest yumminess of all yummies.
Oh, yeah.
And my friends actually think that I'm amazing, right? Or see this amazing aspect of myself, and it allows them to want to be this amazing aspect of themselves. And so, they're not going to give you what you think. It's not going to make it all better. If I just have them in a relationship or in my life, it will be okay. No, you have to show up in your life for yourself for you to be okay. Yes. And then everything that happens after that will be okay.
Yes. Oh, and I know that that's a hard one. And I want to also validate, right, for some of you guys that are in separation, you're in difficult situations, and your partner, or your twin, I should say, and you actually were in a relationship with them, the pain is real. Right?
Heck yeah.
The pain of separation is real. The pain is not just of that person, though. The pain is this idea that this part that came into your life and reminded you of source and reminded you of your wholeness and reminded you of your inspiration was then removed at the 3D, was removed at the physical level, and it felt like the biggest loss you ever had in your life. And then it created this incredible opportunity for you to look in and do those things Nicole was saying, is to remember that you are whole and find yourself, find that expansion, and that ironically attracts that link back together.
Yes, it does.
In the three-dimensional situation, right? And so it is so important that the twin flame concept edify you, not cause you to stagnate or to abuse yourself or to stay in situations that are affecting you in a way that you don't know how to get out of, right? And each journey is different. You guys hear ours, right? And a lot of times we'll say, well, Dove, how did you do this and this and this? And I want to be just like you. And the thing is, every dynamic is different. Because here's another hard one. Maybe it's not working because it isn't your twin, right? You guys say that all the time. You're like, well, this is happening and whatever. And here's the other thing. We will vilify the twin flame connection.
Yes.
We will say that, oh, guess what? It's a bad experience because you had a bad experience when that might not even have been your twin flame, right? And we do that. The psyche wants to say, this is a bad experience, or I'm in negative stuff, or this isn't real, or whatever comes to mind out of our own pain experience. And so, yeah, maybe this is not what you thought it was, right? And that is no reflection to the twin flame journey, because the twin flame journey isn't about suffering. It's actually about looking at our stuff, our shit, our pain, our distortion, our manipulation, and detoxing it. And that feels like shit. And you know what else that is? It's a radical self-responsibility. And it requires radical self-love. And it requires unconditional love in a way that for some of you, we would need to define. Right? Yes. Because unconditional love doesn't mean you don't love yourself. It doesn't mean you stay put in negative situations. It is never okay for you to be abused physically, to be in a situation where there is, heavy, right, textbook narcissism, where there's, right, can people grow and shift? Yes, but let them grow and shift. Let yourself grow and shift.
Yes.
And sometimes you're not meant to be in that situation, right? So guess what? So sometimes it is your twin flame dynamic, but there's shit that needs to happen in the meantime in order to be okay, right? And one of the major things is pivoting the refocus to being about yourself and how you're contributing to this mirror. 2, it can be that you have an idea of what you're looking for, right? That perception that we talked about, that expectation we talked about at the beginning. I'll be okay if I have a twin and if this is my twin, right? And I know this is triggering stuff. I know this is real talk. I know this is painful, but it is so much of our mission and platform to shift consciousness in a way that you feel empowered, in a way that you feel like, guess what? No matter what, you can be okay.
Yes.
Right? There are people that are, you guys know, you've experienced it. There are people that say to you, we'll guarantee you this dynamic, we'll guarantee you your twin, we promise you this, and then you'll be okay, right? And there's so much from the dawn of time selling us that idea. And the thing is that I want to make sure that you guys are empowered no matter what is happening in that dynamic.
Yes.
And honoring your 3D pain, because it really hurts, okay? And so when we sometimes, right, as I said, sometimes the twin flame concept is really empowering, and sometimes the concept is ravaging you because you're attached to it in a way that's creating a negative perception distortion, right? It's like, this is what I have to have. It's only this. I have had people come to me and say, oh, I just break up with people the minute I realize they're not my twin flame. Holy heck, right? Raise your hand if that was you, right? If you feel brave, like raise your hand if that was you. There are situations where you will dismiss an entire relationship that might be that perfect relationship for that part of your growth process because you're looking for a particular thing, creating a perspective expectation that that is the only valuable or valid thing. And when it's not that thing, or you find yourself in a negative cycle, right? Then you sort of throw out the baby with the bathwater and you get rid of the whole idea. And now you're double destroyed because you kind of committed to and attached yourself to a real experience, the twin flame journey, and then you decided, well, because this wasn't good or positive or whatever, then I deny that. And here's why I'm talking about this. Because the twin flame journey, redefining right now, is also your journey.
Yes.
If you identify with twin flame energy, you have that template within you. You are that energy. It is not just about a relationship. It is your energy. It is what you came to do here, to walk in unconditional love, to radically break down relationship paradigms, to step into all of this and to face these shadow places where you are attracting those things in your life that you do not want. And let me tell you about twin flames, and I want Nicole to jump in here because I know I'm speaking for a long time. A lot coming through from spirit today. When you are a twin, like your essence wants to do that work. It wants to do that work. Like it's just like, I'm ready. I don't know how sometimes, right? But I want to do it. Right? You might be sitting there going, I don't know how sometimes, but I want to do it. And so I really want to reflect that back to you. So your perceptions, what you might believe about it, where you are placing your focus, and just where you're clicking in, twin flame or not, when we are highly wounded or have stories or have that grasping aspect to us, which, let's be real, every human to some extent needs work around that piece, then we click in with other people in that way. So if it's very extreme for you, you might have clicked into some really negative situations. And you can shift this. You can move out of this, and you can really come back into an empowerment about what this journey really is for you.
Oh, yes. And so I just want to remind you, you are whole all by yourself right now. Someone's not going to make you whole. You are whole. I often, hear people say like, well, I don't believe in twin flames. I don't think it's possible. It doesn't make any sense. And so I just we're going to redefine it, right? We're going to redefine it. Within Dove and within me is masculine and feminine energy. Within you and every living thing has these flames of energy, right? You want to add source flame. There's a triad. There is a trinity of flame. There's a connectedness. As within, so without is a principle. As above, so below is a principle, a universal principle. So if within me is this masculine and feminine energy, right? It would make sense that I would then, as without, create something that would be the present, like would be the representation of my insides, this reflection of this beautiful masculine and feminine template that's within me. And then here we are, right? And we're so androgynous a lot of ways, right? So Dove, like we have mastered a lot of ways, because now I'm in this female body where we've mastered like really being in my intuitive self, my feminine energy receivership, my masculine energy logic, action, taking action and resting. And Dove does it as well, and we dance in that energy. So it's that union within you. Yes. This is the representation. And when that shit is off, when it is off, right? When you are off with yourself inside and you are not aligned with yourself and you are in story and all of those things, that is going to represent itself outside of you in any relationship for that matter. Absolutely. But definitely in this relationship. But what's potent about this relationship is that this relationship in the twin flame dynamic is bringing unconditional love back to self, connection back to source, unconditional love, right? Which that frequency, when Dove was talking about Dove and I's frequency, when we was in some low level frequency, when we met, we were all busted up, right? The love that was pulsating within, pulled us together no matter what those wounds are. And then we fought with the wounds because we had to heal ourselves. Remember, again, that I am whole by myself. That individualism that I found in this relationship polarizes Dove and I. And so it is the balancing of yourself, remembering your wholeness, so that you may have maybe possibly either a harmonious relationship in this lifetime with your twin, or with someone that is a sacred partnership. Because if you're watching this video, you want a sacred partnership. If you're watching this video, you want to serve a little bit. If you're watching this video, you really want to find yourself. If you're watching this video, you want to be all heart-centered. If you're watching this video, you came here and chose this moment to be here to do so. If you're watching this video, ascension is very important to you, and consciousness shift of this planet is very important. If you're watching this video, the new earth is very important to you. When I say that word, it activates something within you, this remembrance of that template, twin flame template of all things have that union within them, so that we may have union with God. Oof, it's yummy.
Absolutely. And if you're watching this video, maybe you're ready for those perspective shifts to happen, and for that to stop ravaging you, and for you to open your fingers a little bit in a little bit of surrender, a little bit of trust to the situation, a little bit more willingness in your step to take the next action to understand where you are in this place, a little bit more willingness to move into caring for yourself, and to, put things in their right place and allow yourself to feel the empowerment that really is how much you are really creating this situation, how much you are really holding the perspective in this situation. And so with that being said, this is an enormous subject, so we covered a tiny piece of it, and we hope that this video, just a speck. And if you are new, I'm welcoming all of you guys and ask you to subscribe, like this video, share it with people, your groups, whatever.
And thank you.
And thank you for watching. But certainly know this is only just a tiny fragment of such a deeper conversation. We have tons of other videos for you to watch. And if you guys are looking to kind of take your next step and have that perspective and let the focus be on you, while also understanding the journey and connecting to it. We posted a link below if you guys are watching this here on our YouTube channel for you to check out and perhaps join our community, right? And allowing each other and our process to support you, right? And your own process to support you, I should say, because there can be deep, deep empowerment in this process. So I love all of you guys.
Yep.
Thank you for watching,
Love you.
and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.